Let's get into the engine room then. The best second rows on earth. My player power rankings continues with the locks. And I did consider doing a separate list for tight head lock, the classic number 4 and the classic number 5 loose head lock. But I've just chucked them all together and kept it as I did the last time I did the player power rankings. And well, this is what it looked like last time. And take a little mental snapshot of that top 10 because there's quite a bit of change in this one. Probably more change here than pretty much any other position. And that's due to form, that's due to availability. And well, let's get stuck into it. Before I do, I'm Tim. This is Egg Chasers. And please hit subscribe. Give the thumbs up on the video. It lets other people know I exist. And yeah, I can't wait to get out to France and cover the World Cup and have you along for the journey. At number 10, Will Skelton, a new face on the list because he's back in international rugby with Australia. Eddie Jones is captain and one of the most unique specimens on planet Earth. And I could see him rocketing up this top 10 by the end of the World Cup. He's there because he's only just back into international rugby. He's one of only, is it 2 players who've won the European Cup with 3 different clubs? Will Skelton has done that. He's the common denominator in those teams because he is such a force of nature. And I expect him to have a big impact on this World Cup, playing in a country that he knows very well these days. At number 9, Sam Whitelock, 34 now, all that experience, such a class act as a bloke and as a rugby player. And he may not be first choice for the All Blacks when everybody is fit, but having a guy like that in your squad is massive. Love the guy. Number 8, Richie Great has been absolutely amazing. Also, like Sam Whitelock, he is 34, but this guy has had a new lease of life. He's been playing the best rugby of his career. And when he burst on the scene, 6'10" as he was then, he still is 6'10" and 20 stone, but we thought he was going to go on and just keep getting better and better, but he dipped, went away, kind of, you thought, is he really got that gnarly, horrible quality that you need to be a great lock? Well, he's come back and he's still got the athleticism, but he can be a bit horrible as well. Smashing rocks left, right and centre for Scotland. He's had a great year. Thibaut Flamont is rocketed up to number 7. And I mean, I'll tell you what, one thing to watch out for in the Rugby World Cup, have a drink every time it gets mentioned that Thibaut Flamont used to play for the Loughborough University 5th team as a fly half. Always gets mentioned without fail. In fact, maybe it wouldn't be wise to drink every time that was mentioned because yeah, you'd be passed out in A&E at the hospital, I imagine. Thibaut Flamont, it's such a great sight to see him with open field in front of him because he runs like a giraffe. He's quite a sight to see. Classic number 5, line out forward, rangy runner. He's been brilliant for Toulouse and he's been absolutely exceptional for France and he will be for years to come because he's 26. He is without, however, for the World Cup, his partner, Paul Willemse. What a blow for France to be losing this guy. Just at the prime of his career for a lock, 30 years of age, massive man. And he's had his injury issues himself and he's just got himself back fit, looking like he was ready to go. And a massive hammer blow for France. He's out the World Cup. He is nonetheless number 6 on my list. Scott Barrett, talk about great years. I mean, arguably, if you were just going on current form, he might be, in the last 12 months, he might have had the most best performances. Does that make sense? He's probably the form Barrett brother. He's been absolutely brilliant. We'll need to watch his discipline. That's clearly a work on for Scott Barrett, but he's so good. Real all-rounder, shown by the fact he can slot in quite happily on the blindside flank. Number 4, James Ryan. This guy, 27 now, and James Ryan is delivering on the promise that he showed when he burst on the scene. Remember, him and Maro Itoje are roughly the same age, both came into international rugby about the same time, and for a while it looked like Itoje was going to sort of take off. But now the fortunes have reversed. Maro Itoje looks a shadow of the player he was. James Ryan is a colossus for Ireland and for Leinster. I've had the privilege and the pleasure of interviewing him a few times with work, and the guy's massive, lovely bloke. But when you stand in the stands and just watch James Ryan, the amount of work that guy gets through, he is an animal and very, very important for Ireland. Brodie Retallick at number 3, Lurch, still doing it, 32 years of age. I mean, New Zealand won't have him for the France game, but they know they need him come quarter-final time and he'll be ready to go. and very, very important for New Zealand then. Been there, done it. The proper hybrid between an enforcer and like your open field runner. He can do it all. He has been in the past the best player on earth, any position. He still is one of the very best locks on earth. I think Tadhg Beirne is better. Oh man, this guy, his work rate, his skill set, and the story of Tadhg Beirne getting rejected from the Leinster Academy, thinking about giving up rugby, getting a bit of a crack, suddenly in luck at Scarlets in Wales. And then I remember working on a game, it was Bath against Scarlets, European match, and he did this incredible dummy sidestep, gassed it in from the 22, and everyone kind of went, who's this guy? He was quite young at that point. He's 31 now, prime age to have an amazing World Cup. If he plays anything like he has done in the last year or two, that is a given. The number one, you won't be surprised, Eben Etzebeth, a physical freak. As enforcers go, the best since Bakkies, Botha? I reckon so. Bakkies got to get away with a lot more off the ball stuff and unseen stuff because there weren't 20 cameras and loads of TMOs and stuff in Bakkies' day. You imagine what Eben Etzebeth might have been able to, the damage he might have been able to do if he'd have been playing in the old days. He would have been mixing it up with the very best of them in the old days. He has got that old school hardness mentality, but he's a modern athlete as well. There's no question Eben Etzebeth is the best lock on earth, and I can't imagine there'll be a great deal of disagreement in the comments. But tell me what you think about the rest of the top 10, which, to remind you, looks like that, with the arrows showing the players that have gone up, nothing for the ones that have stayed still, and the red arrows for the players going down. That's as I see it. How do you see it? Let me know.